Humility, wisdom, and patience are all marks of an empowered person. A person of substance who lives with intention, who takes all angles into account and does not allow pride to get in the way of progress. This is the person who displays the principle of sound judgment. Sound judgment is just one of the Empowered's 8 foundational principles, yet it plays a part in all of them. It informs every part of our lives.
In the animal kingdom, the white-tailed deer is one of the most vulnerable. They have very little means of defense and a long list of predators, and so they rely on one essential thing for their survival: instinct. A deer's sense of smell is 4 times stronger than that of a human's. This ability provides the deer the instincts to make life and death decisions every day. By scent alone, they can detect a predator from miles away and can even determine if a plant is poisonous or not. In the same way, sound judgment guides our decisions. With time, it becomes instinctive, and we navigate the challenges of life with ease and confidence. When thinking economically, humility and rationality have to guide your decisions, rather than pride and insecurity.
It's necessary to take a daily inventory of yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses as you pursue a life of substance. Our role as teachers isn't to tell our students what to think, but rather how to think. In order to flourish, they must learn to approach people and circumstances with a humble mindset. Let's see what our empowered community has to say about applying sound judgment in the classroom.
When we think about sound judgment in the context of your classroom and your life, it is something that happens to you every day. We're just trying to put meaningful words behind it and to use it as a decision-making point for you and your students to reflect on when they're given an opportunity. And so when you connect them to sound judgment and these ideas of opportunity cost and trade-offs and things like that, they realize that my actions don't just impact me, they impact those around me too. So how can I behave in a way that does create value for all of us? For students that show up late to class, and we all have them, they happen, they walk through our door every day. When you connect them to sound judgment and you talk about what value you're trying to create for them and how taking the time to even discuss why you're late or you're taking attention away from the class, there's a cost associated with that. It hurts all of us when your actions that are only focused on yourself take away from others. All of these things influence this outcome and this experience that we're trying to create for our students.
We expect a lot out of students, but we don't show them what we're expecting. And so I think with all of the principles, we have to show them first and talk through them first, and sound judgment especially, because they are at a critical time when they're making a lot of decisions. Maybe it's like, you don't have 2 great options, but you have to choose one of them. And I think it's learning that that's okay. And I think in the empowered activities a lot too, you can decide to do an activity this way or this way. It can be a whole different classroom, but that's up to you.
We understand that this is true application that our students, that our teachers are going through. Every day, they're having to make decisions. They're weighing opportunity costs. Do I go to class? Do I not?
In 1610, Galileo stunned the world with the revelation that the earth was actually not the fixed center of the universe. As a result, he faced the Roman Inquisition. His works were forbidden, and he was placed under arrest for the last 9 years of his life. Galileo wrote, "The authority of 1,000 is not worth the humble reasoning of a single individual."
At Empowered, we believe humility is key to continuous growth. This is why we define sound judgment as use economic thinking to create the greatest benefit while using the least resources. As you show humility throughout your career, the quality of your work will steadily improve. As you seek to understand people, your network will expand. Because you are resourceful with little, you will be given much in return.
You can think of it like a fine oiled machine. We want to get what we need to get done without a lot of waste. You've already invested time and energy into becoming a teacher, and you want to continue to invest your resources in a meaningful way. The idea of spending countless hours in something that's not going to create value for you is very frustrating. As a teacher, we can reflect on the opportunities presented to ourselves and decide, is this worth my time, attention, energy? What benefit does it create? If the benefit isn't there, we can take a step back and consider, should we do something different with our time?
Empowered has done an awesome job of using sound judgment to support me as a teacher. They have consolidated everything to where it's very user-friendly. They understand that as a teacher, we have limited resources. We cannot access a lot of things. Empowered has done an awesome job using economic thinking to create the greatest benefit for us as teachers, using the least of our resources.
Each of our communities is impacted by these seemingly big problems like homelessness, food deserts, things like that. These are significant problems that we want to solve. And as we think through potential solutions, we want to select one that leverages sound judgment, because I think we all would want a solution to create the greatest benefit with the least amount of resources. When a decision is made in our communities that doesn't leverage sound judgment, we feel that frustration as community members. We question why that decision was made, and at the same time we think about what are we missing out on? What are we losing out on? Because we are still pouring resources into this solution. And what other kind of problems could we have been solving this whole time?
Kobe Bryant once said that the biggest flaw that we make is that we believe we have time.
Here's Bryant. Yes.
And from that, we don't want to waste that time. We want to take advantage of those opportunities that we have, seize the moment. And if we can put these ideas in front of our students every day, they'll have understood economics, but they understand every transaction that they make is about the value creation, not only for themselves, but how they can create value for their contemporaries, their neighbor, and the world at large.
You will learn to let sound judgment instinctively guide your decisions. Galileo's example shows us this is not always the easy path, but it leaves so much room for growth, so many new things to learn, so much progress to make.
Free of pride and insecurity, sound judgment will allow you to maximize your effectiveness. You will model to your students the importance of using economic thinking to bring value to every situation. In turn, they will adopt this approach in their lives, creating a community that is ever increasing in empathy and progress.